This week, it's another installment of Obscure Characters Month, as we take a look at the Decepticon sniper with a tendency to pop up in places you wouldn't expect. These are the basics on Hardtop. The original Hardtop was released in the 2005 toy line Transformers Cybertron. The figure transformed into a dune buggy, and like all toys in the line, came with a Cyber Planet key that unlocked a hidden action feature. Plugging the key into his turret cannon converted it into a sniper rifle. Hasbro copywriter Forrest Lee wrote a profile for Hardtop that characterized him as a spy, tracker, and ground-based spotter for the Decepticon Air Forces. But he didn't just use his impressive array of sensors to hunt Autobots. Slavishly loyal to Megatron, he was also known to turn his sensors on his fellow Decepticons, listening in on them and recording any potentially treasonous chatter. Hardtop avoided close-range combat, preferring to get his kicks picking off enemies from a distance with his rifle, while in his off hours, he liked to collect comic books from all across the galaxy. Later in the toy line, the Hardtop figure was recolored and re-released as Hardtop's twin brother, Swindle, the total opposite of his sibling, a disloyal brute who loved fighting up close and personal. Now, Hardtop was one of several Cybertron toys who weren't released in the Japanese version of the toy line, and thus he didn't appear in the Cybertron cartoon because it was produced in Japan. But he and Swindle did appear in the Cybertron prose story Force of Habit, published by the Transformers Collectors Club, in which the brothers were part of a Decepticon unit who attempted to plunder a cache of deadly weaponry that they found among the ruins of the dead Cybertronian colony planet, Combatron. In 2007, Hardtop's toy was recolored again to create a new incarnation of the character from the world of the live-action movies, released as part of the tie-in toy line for the first film. This Hardtop was also a tracker and spy like the Cybertron original, but was characterized as the long-standing rival of the Autobot, Bumblebee, who he had grown to become obsessed with destroying. The film famously depicted Bumblebee as being unable to speak due to his vocal processors having been damaged in battle, and in a surprising move, the character profile included with Hardtop's toy credited him as the one who had inflicted those injuries on Bumblebee in one of their many past clashes. This would have been Hardtop's big claim to fame, but unfortunately for him, no other media corroborated it. Instead, the comic book prequel for the movie depicted Megatron as being responsible for Bumblebee's injuries, and for a decade, that was treated as the origin of the Autobots' muteness across pretty much all Transformers media. The 2018 Bumblebee movie would later offer a third version of events, further edging Hardtop out by presenting Decepticon jet Blitzwing as the bot who did the deed. With his big chance at wider recognition having been stolen out from under him not once but twice, Hardtop had to settle for just making a couple of appearances in tie-in comic books. He was featured in IDW Publishing's miniseries The Reign of Starscream as part of a Decepticon unit stationed on Mars, who nearly sniped the Autobot Smokescreen during a battle on the Red Planet, only to be killed by Smokescreen's teammate RC before he could pull the trigger. He also appeared in the movie comic published in the United Kingdom by Titan Magazines, which was set in an alternate timeline where the Decepticons had defeated the Autobots on Earth and were in the process of conquering the rest of the planet. Here, Hardtop led an army of Decepticon drones in an attack on Cincinnati, but found his way barred by the renegade Decepticon Stockade and his followers, who didn't want to see Earth ruined by war as Cybertron had been. Hardtop tried to put up a fight, but was quickly subdued when Stockade's forces hacked into and took control of his drones. The movie Hardtop toy would also have a short legacy outside the movie universe. In 2008, the figure was re-released in the Transformers Universe toy line as part of a 2-pack with the Autobot Clocker, marketed as a new form for the original Cybertron version of the character. Then, in 2009, the Collectors Club repurposed the figure for their Shattered Glass series of prose stories, using it to represent an evil mirror universe incarnation of the Autobot dune buggy, Beachcomber. For a long time, it seemed that that would be the quiet end of Hardtop's story. The nearest he got to appearing in any media over the next decade was a cameo by an unnamed Decepticon sharing his body type in issue number 2 of the IDW comic Lost Light in 2016. But then, in 2022, to pretty much everyone's surprise, Hardtop returned, finally making the jump to TV screens in the Transformers Earthspark animated series. Once again presented as a tracker and sniper, Earthspark Hardtop served as the muscle for his brother Swindle, who in this series was characterized as a crafty con man, the brains of the brothers' double act. The pair had the honor of being the first characters to appear on screen in the cartoon, as they were lured into a trap by Optimus Prime and Elita 1. The Autobots defeated and apprehended Hardtop and turned him over to their allies in Earth's military. But the convoy transporting him to prison was attacked en route and Hardtop abducted by the Transformer-hating mad scientist, Mandroid. As the first step in his plan to cybernetically upgrade his body using Transformer technology, Mandroid surgically removed Hardtop's right arm and grafted it onto himself. Hardtop was rescued by the Autobots soon after and spent the rest of the show's first season locked up, but was eventually freed to join the united effort to stop the fully upgraded Mandroid from destroying all Transformers on Earth. Unfortunately for Hardtop though, he wasn't able to get his arm back from the villain, and he's had to go through the rest of the series as a lefty. Sadly, no toys of Earthspark Hardtop have been released, but his arm was available as part of the line's Mandroid Build-A-Figure. And that's the saga of Hardtop so far. Maybe that'll be it for him, or maybe not, because if his up and down history proves anything, it's that you never know what surprising new role this obscure little Decepticon could suddenly appear in next. And those are the basics on Hardtop. Take aim at the comments and let me know where you first encountered this little guy. And be sure to be back here next week as we dust off another lesser known corner of the Transformers universe as Obscure Characters Month continues.